'Tis your will, my master.
Hey, good morning, Scott. Quick demo video for you for your KR Sabers Race Scavenger. As you know, I got this done yesterday. We were just trying to iron out some sound fonts. I haven't heard back from you this morning on that yet, so I was missing 2 of the 5 that you wanted. I just went ahead and I went and purchased them because they were something that I wanted anyway. I do have your proof of purchase, so it's no biggie, and those fonts are on here. Okay. This is installed the Proffie. It's the Proffie install kit from KR Sabers. It comes with the Goth Eco chassis. I did put the wrap on here, though I didn't weather it. So I didn't weather any part of this Saber because that's not what you had asked me to do. You just wanted an install. So this thing will look a lot better. Sorry, let me hold it up here. It will look a lot better when you go through and you weather this wrap. Then maybe you choose to weather the Saber as well. So we got that. Got your blade plug here separately that I will put in the Saber before I send it out. And then there were some extra wraps right here that I didn't use, and I'll put that in your box as well. And then a few parts that I either didn't need or I had to take off to supplement for some different parts for the install or what have you, but I'll just put all this back in your box. How you get to everything is you want to take this pommel. It's on a J-lock system, so just turn it to the left and it'll pull right out just like that. And you'll see your chassis in here and you can pull it right out. The install kit came with a battery and everything that you need, so I do have the battery in here. It's easy enough to pop out if you want. Pop it out like that, and this is what your chassis looks like. This is the Goth Eco chassis. It's made from MJF, it looks like, material, multi-jet fusion material, so it's really nice. It's got a KR 28mm speaker, and there's your Proffie board right there. So you can get to your SD card and your micro USB and never move the board. The board is adhesed down to the chassis so that it doesn't pop up on you. But that's pretty typical with this kind of chassis system, right? And then of course you've got a kill switch right here. So when this is in, you just come over here and flip your kill switch.
This is a pile of junk.
You'll notice that there's 2 rails on this chassis. Kind of hard to see, but there's one right here and there's one right here. And those line up with the 2 screws that are for the J-lock on the pommel. So just make sure that you line those up. If you don't, the chassis won't go in, so you'll know that it's not in correctly, right? Put it all the way in. Take this guy, slip it on and lock it back down by turning it to the right. And then you can take this cog. This is a 1-button setup, but when you go over to the left, turn this to the left, you can see how that opens up, right? So it'll open up, and then if you click it all the way to the left, go fast, you light it up. And then I gave you twist off. I did not give you swing on, just so that you can play around with the mechanism, and there's a lot to do to put the Saber all together once you flip your kill switch. So I didn't want it going on accidentally, but the twist off feature is pretty cool. And then if you hold it over to the left for like a long press, you'll change sound fonts.
Ray Skywalker.
Now we're on Ray Skywalker. We'll put a blade in this guy. We can close it all the way up, and you can open it. We'll close it for now so that I can show you something. You've got 4 screws up here, if you can see that in the light. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Only one is a blade retention. It's 1 millimeter longer than the others, and rather than have you try to guess which one that is every time, I went in, I used a silver Sharpie, and I put a small dot right there on the one that's the blade retention. That's something that will wipe off with alcohol if you don't want it on there, but it's nice to be able to say, okay, this is the one of the 4 screws, that's the blade retention. Otherwise, you could be unscrewing this thing for days and not know which one is which. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to loosen that. It's a flathead, so we're going to loosen it, and we'll put a blade in it. This takes a 1-inch diameter neopixel blade. This saber's not for dueling. There's a lot of parts over here that you want to watch out for. They're just, you know, they're on there really well, but it is kind of a fragile piece. So there's a lot of pieces to that mechanism. So we'll lock it down. Got the blade in there. Come over here and fast click it. This is on final steps. Good flash on clash. Just like that. To go to your next sound font, it's a long press on the cog, right?
This is an N1 Starfighter.
Now we're on N1 Starfighter. I gave you kind of an orange unstable for this one just to kind of mix it up a little bit. Trying to show you everything, but I don't want to be too rough on the saber. There are like a ton of screws up here and different pins holding these fins together, and frankly it makes me a little nervous. Everything seems to be solid. I did go through and I checked them, but there's just a ton, right?
That's garbage! The garbage will do!
Raw piece of junk. We'll go through.
Rey Skywalker.
Final steps.
Final steps. So you got good shine through in your windows all around, right? The Havoc has the blade style that came with the sound font.
This is an N1 Starfighter.
And then we got N1 Starfighter. We'll just take the blade out now and then go over taking the battery out. You actually don't even have to take the battery out, you know, unless you need to charge it, obviously. But you can leave it in the chassis since it has a kill switch. Take the blade out. Close this up. And we'll just pop the pummel off again. Take the chassis out and just flip the kill switch just like that, and then put it back in here for safekeeping. And that's pretty much your saber. Let me know if you got any questions, and if not, I will get this out today. But I would like to stress, this is not a dueling saber. This is more or less a shelf queen. There's a lot of stuff going on up here that you'll see a lot better when you get in person, and you can kind of see it now. But you don't want to be dueling with this guy, right? Because if you lose one of these, I'm not even sure how you would source half that stuff, right? So just keep that in mind. But it is a solid install. Everything's working the way it should be. All right, thanks.